I'm like, okay, so how did it work so far? Well, it did. You know, sometimes I'm off a little bit and this and that. I'm like, well, hold on a second. Like, you are pretending you will make that money. It's just a matter of time. So you will spend that money. All right, folks, so what happens to Canadians when they cannot borrow anymore? Are we in a recession? Are we maybe in a depression? And what is actually happening? I would like to share a couple of stories with you, and I'm absolutely stunned from what I'm hearing nowadays. So I don't know if it's stupidity or if it's fear or if people absolutely don't have a plan and they're just saying something because of saying it. But like, as of now, like, we know that condo market is completely demolished. We know that real estate is breathing heavy. And again, we're waiting for that miracle, right? We're waiting for the fall market, right? September market, fall market, everything will change. Well, it will not change. I mean, the real estate is already broken. Canadian real estate market is completely broken and it's not bulletproof and it will go under. And it did go under in the past. So I would just like to get into some like some stories that I have experienced over the weekend, right? And one of them, like I was talking to a guy that I know. He's a businessman and whatnot, and he kept saying, you have to visualize it, you have to see it, you have to believe in it. I said, no, I understand. I understand what you're trying to say, right? Like, you have to be positive about certain situations. You have to be positive about the outcome, and you have to pursue the actual goal, I would say, right? But, you know, different situation for different folks. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because for that particular gentleman, his dad built a business in the 70s and 80s, right? Built a solid foundation, gave it to him. He's running it ever since. I'm assuming, never experienced any pain. Yes, he probably experienced difficulties all along. And, you know, he was saying, like, look, you know, like, I've been investing in real estate heavily for the past 2 decades and whatnot, right? I said, well, you have only seen the curve going up, right? So when you took that a leadership from your dad, that was maybe in the early 2000s, and ever since, you were a miracle kid. But it's not you making all these calls. It doesn't matter what you have invested in. You could have made the worst choices ever possible on the checkerboard and you would have still won, because everything was pushed forward. So I just wanted to make that statement here, because, like, you know, I kind of argued with the guy. I said, I understand that, but now looking at your son, right? If he had to start from zero today, right today, without your millions, without your help, and without your networking, he will not even make it in Tim Hortons. He like, you understand what I mean? Like, completely not talented kid. I'm not bashing the guy, but I'm just saying, like, I'm looking at the qualifications that his son has, and is not the sharpest tool in the toolbox, if you know what I'm saying. So he said, yeah, but you know what, like, and this and that. I'm like, we're not talking the same thing, right? So that was just something interesting, right? Like, how people get carried away with you know, past situations, and maybe somebody paving their way already, and not them not acknowledging it or not realizing it, right? So I just wanted to throw it out there. I don't know if you agree with this or not, but let's get into some data here. So average Canadian owes $1.80 per every dollar earned. Guys, this is like, you know, recession, maybe even depression category, right? Like, we have seen United States gone through this in the 2008, and we're laughing at them. We were like, oh my gosh, these guys are, you know, cowboys, and they have no idea what they're doing, and look where they're at. And now we are we're on that intersection, right? And you're probably in a worse situation than they were, our neighbors here in 2008. So anyways, credit card balances are at record high. And it doesn't matter who I speak to and how I throw this question, everybody has tons and tons of debt. Whether it's real estate related, whether it's in vehicles, whether it's in education, whether it doesn't really matter where it is, but it's just there. And then like talking to them, I asked, I'm like, so what is your plan aside from meditation, actionable plan, how you're going to solve this issue? And 9.9%, 9.9 out of 10 said like, oh, you know what, like, it'll be okay. You know what I mean? The next quarter, it'll be okay. I'm like, so basically you're saying you're going to take on more debt in order to cover the old debt, and that's how you're going to ride it until somebody down the line turns on the light and fixes your problem? Well, that's pretty much it, right? So I just don't understand, but that's basically the plan for most Canadians, it seems like, right? So are Canadians living in homes or just living on loans? So that was one of the questions that got sent to me. So to be honest with you, I don't know. I think the people that have been around for a long time and have paid off their homes and the golden generation or whatever, yeah, fine. I'm sure they're comfortable, they're fine, and they live in their homes. Everybody else is just like living not only paycheck to paycheck, they're just living literally from that debt equity that these properties have been accumulating over years, right? Like I don't think anybody, I would say in the last few years, that anybody moved that needle when it comes to the mortgages. Like nobody paid their mortgage off overnight or something like that, because the mortgages are so huge that it's crazy. You cannot, like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm talking here like normal people, like, you know, middle class. Like I'm not talking somebody making millions of dollars. Like they're not whatever, right? They're not in this equation. Even though I did meet people that are making a lot of money, but they say for me to sustain this particular graph or that income, I have to pursue different ventures and I have to throw more money in order to squeeze the same amount back, if you know what I'm saying. So it's something to think about. GDP barely moving, but cost of living exploding. Yeah, I mean, like we don't have to even talk about that. Like we know what's going on. Like, you know, it's not only housing costs, like it's costs overall, period, that have been through the roof. And, you know, little by little things are definitely adding up. And when they stack up, I mean, you're in trouble, right? Rising unemployment plus wage stagnation, recession conditions, if not officially declared. Well, whether they declare it or not, we know it, you know what I mean? It's a recession, right? Like I have somebody like, you know, commenting all the time on my videos here, like, say it's a depression, say it's a depression. Yes, it might be a depression, to be honest with you, you know what I mean? Like, because when it hits, and it will hit, it's just a matter of time, it's not going to be a walk through the park. You'll hit hard, and you'll hit hard for many. So I don't know, like you better have a plan. In the 1990s crash, it wasn't just high interest rates, it was people finally running out of borrowing room. Yeah, we could say that. I mean, in the 90s, like it like just went off cliff, right? And you know, people at the time, I made many videos on this particular topic. You know, like people were, you know, waking up at 3 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning, walking their living room thinking, oh my gosh, like how am I gonna pay my mortgage bill, right? So, you know, the lights were on and the economy was on until it wasn't anymore. And it's just like literally crashed. It seemed like overnight. Real estate depends on debt. When debt taps out, demand collapses. I mean, that's just it. I mean, that's what this video is all about. I mean, when people stop having the ability to dip into more credit and more loans, I think we're gonna see a huge shift. And we're seeing that shift, you know, with the condo market. I'm saying this for a long time. You know, the condo market can sink everything else, because most people did borrow against their current homes and their current equities. They did borrow to put down payments on these pre-construction condos and whatnot, right? So there's thousands and thousands of these pre-construction condo being completed, so these folks now have to take possession and all of that stuff, and you know, time is running out, so it's just adding more and more of bad maybe karma, or like, we can call it whatever you want to call it, but it's just a bad situation overall. So when I hit that, you know, bad karma, you know, like, there's another story that I would like to share. And you know, talking to this couple, and I said, so how you guys doing? And they're like, yeah, we're okay, you know, we're okay. It's a little bit harder, but you know what, like, the more I spend, the more I get back. Like, for some reason, I said, like, what are you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is like, or like, I just manifest more. I'm like, okay, so how did it work so far? Well, it did. You know, sometimes I'm off a little bit and this and that. I'm like, well, hold on a second. Like, you are pretending you will make that money. It's just a matter of time. So you will spend that money. You will make an addition on your house, or you will buy a toy for yourself to make yourself feel better, and then hoping that it will hit, because in your mind you will manifest that. Like, I was actually like, I don't know, I don't even know what to say at this point. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh my gosh, like, how risky is that? Like, you're literally spending something that you don't even have, right? And then you're just hoping for the best, that you hit that mark. You know what I mean? It's very gutsy, right? And I asked him, well, did it work so far? Oh yes, we have been doing it for years. Okay, fine. So I'm like, when was the first property you bought? And it was like the early 2000s, like, or something like that, like 2005 or something like that. And you know, ever since, they were playing those cards like that. I'm like, look, like, the game was rigged for you to win, right? So I don't know how it's gonna pan out. Like, I hope this works for them, and if it does, God bless you, but it's just weird, right? So the death wall highlight: 1.4 million Canadians already missing mortgage payments. So I did videos on that on my channel. You know, people missing payments, you know, in fact, like, more than 1.4 million of Canadians are just late or missed their payment. I did videos on Sault Ste. Marie, like, that city seemed to be dead. Like, I did videos in Sudbury, you know, like, oh my gosh, like, it's crazy. Like, people are complaining. Woodstock, Ontario, right? Like, why, when you pass Cambridge and Kitchener, right there, Woodstock. Like, it's just like, Woodstock has seen the biggest inventory influx ever, record month, right? Like, it's right there on my channel. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so now we're saying, like, well, everything is going to be fine, we just need more time. Well, I think people play that particular card. Everything will be fine next month, next year. As long as I hold on, it will correct itself. Well, you know what? Like, I think our ship already is steering in a complete different direction at this point, and there's really no comeback. And for most people, there's not going to be enough gas or enough wind to push them back to where they're started. So if they don't have a solid plan, I think there's going to be a lot of ship sinking coming up. So I don't know, like, tell me what you think. I don't see a bright future right now, right? Like we might see something in a half a decade to a decade out, right? Like something healthier. But as of now, I think each of us need to have like a solid personal plan in order to survive these wins. So I hope you like this video and you gained something valuable. So please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.